We have all already made a decision we knew deep down we shouldn't do, we shouldn't implement, yet it's as if we have this ultimate force deep down inside of us that is making us still choose the wrong decision, that is making us still do the things we're going to regret later on. The reason you're struggling with this is not because you're weak or you're incapable. It all has to do with understanding your brain, how it works, and using that knowledge to use it in the moments that matters the most. The real problem, your brain is working against you. Your brain has two operating systems that is running simultaneously. You have the emotional brain, which is the limbic system. This one is more fast, automatic, survival focused. It makes decision in millisecond. It doesn't think, it reacts. The second part is the logical brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. This one is more slow, deliberate, and it sees the consequences. It's the you that knows better. Yet, the issue is that whenever you want to implement a certain action, a certain decision, the emotional brain is 5 times faster. So, before your logical brain arrives to the decision that you want to take, you have already sent that text, eaten the food, said the words, did the things you're going to regret. It is not character flaw, it's evolutionary design, because 10,000 years ago, hesitation got you eaten by a tiger. And so now, in modern life, your brain treats everything like a tiger. You receive a text from your ex. This is a threat to your sense of worth. You see something you want. You automatically have this fear of missing out. Someone is disrespecting you. You have this threat to your safety. So it reacts with the same urgency as life or death, even when it's not. The result of all of this is that you keep doing things that your logical brain knows you shouldn't do, yet your emotional brain always overcome the you that knows better. Between every impulse and every action, there is a space. Most people aren't aware of that space or don't know how to use that space. So it's the impulse, the action, the regret. What nobody tells you is that your brain can't stop the impulse. Your brain will always react, but the action is yours alone. The impulse is automatic, but the action is a choice. And widening that space is how you reclaim yourself and your power in the moments that matters most. So let's unbreak the 3 unbreakable tools to reclaim your power. The first one is the physical interrupt. What it is, if you are in a situation where usually your impulses comes in when you are in a certain environment, you have to leave this environment. You have to do something else. For example, you have your phone in your hand. You put it in another room and you focus on what you really need to focus on. You're in front of the fridge, even if you're not hungry. Go walk outside. Go read. Get out of your house or go in your room and let yourself at least 30 minutes inside your room before coming out. If you want to buy something, come back tomorrow and see if you still want to do this certain thing. Why it's undeniable? Because you cannot act when you've removed the means. And research shows that any urges that peaks goes away after 90 seconds of not giving in to it. And if you stay in proximity, you will most likely give in, guaranteed. And what I recommend is not only 90 seconds. I recommend at least 30 minutes of letting yourself have that space between the impulse choice and the action you want to do. Because after, I promise you, in 30 minutes, even in an hour, you will see you don't even want to do this thing, and you will be so proud of yourself for not giving in to the thing you know you're going to regret, and for showing up for yourself, because that is showing up for yourself. So, the second tool is, what am I really feeling? Stop and ask yourself, what's the actual emotion driving this urge? Why it's undeniable? Because most of the things, we never really want the things, we want what it gives us. We want the feeling it's going to give us. For example, you're not hungry, you're emotional, you're searching for dopamine, you're sad. You're not angry, you're sad. You don't want to buy that. You want to feel something. You want to feel something. You don't want to text them. You just feel lonely and you have this nostalgia coming in after everything you guys have been through together. So when you name the real emotion, the impulse instantly loses its power away, because you realize that the actual action from doing that thing isn't even going to give you what you want. And so you have to also name it. For example, you feel rejected, you feel sad, you feel worthless, because this will bring compassion and empathy towards yourself, and it will make you realize that instead of doing this action that isn't going to help me, what can I do to actually be there for those emotions that are talking to me, that are expressing something that I wasn't even aware of? And also ask yourself, will this action actually address that feeling? Most of the time, the answer is always no. And so the impulse after deflects. For example, you don't want to text your ex. You feel lonely. You're scared you're not going to find someone that is going to want you. You feel nostalgia. You only remember the good moments. And the truth is that texting them isn't going to give you the feeling you're actually searching for. You're actually going to see and feel how lonely you are by implementing this action. Because you know deep down, you're not just doing it for reaching out. You're doing it for addressing a feeling that you need to address in a different way. And the third tool is the consequence preview. Before you act, imagine yourself 1 hour from now after doing the thing. Why it's undeniable? Because your brain cannot tell the difference between imagine and real emotion. So when you preview the consequence of what you know you're going to regret doing and you experience it as if it already happened, your brain automatically loses its impulses because it thinks it already happened. And so also, if you imagine yourself an hour from now, how do you feel? What's on your face? Do you feel sad, disappointment? And feel all of those negative emotions to stop yourself from doing the action. Because you're going to see that at the end of the day, it's not going to help you. It's just self-sabotaging, and it's going to bring you back to logical thinking, to rationality about what you really should do instead. And so, why is this your emergency brake? Because your emotional brain only sees the now, and when you do this, this forces it to see the consequences of his action if it does a certain action. And so after the second it sees it, it backs down. And also, if you want to try something else, see yourself an hour from now if you would implement the good decision and see how good it feels. And then after, unconsciously, you're going to naturally want to see what pattern I can actually do that will address the feeling I'm searching for in a healthier way, in a healthier option. Your battle plan. You pick one situation where you constantly override your judgment. Texting someone you shouldn't, emotional eating, emotional spending, being mean, saying things you always regret. And so, choose your tool. If it requires devices, object, you have to do a physical interrupt. If you can't identify why you do it, you have to understand what am I really feeling. And use an example if you can't understand what you're really feeling. For example, do you want to fight someone? Do you want to listen to a sad movie? This is indirectly going to tell you what you're actually feeling, what you actually need to address. And if you know you want to do it, but you'll regret it, do a consequence preview or a good preview of what would happen if you didn't do it. So it can reinforce in your brain that if you do this action, it's going to be positive. It's going to reward you in some ways. It's going to give you good emotions, dopamine. The step 3 is use it the next 3 times you're about to do something you're going to regret. So your brain can create new neural pathways. For example, the first time it's going to be really hard because your brain wants the old pattern. But please believe in yourself enough to let yourself do this favor for yourself. Because I promise you, after you're going to be so proud and you're going to genuinely, dramatically change your life most likely because you're probably after going to do that with other patterns and you're going to learn more about yourself and what you need to cultivate within. The second time, it's going to be easier because your brain is going to create new neural pathways. And even if the urge might stay, even me, I still struggle with certain patterns. But the thing is to always never listen to what your brain is telling you and do the things that you know long term are going to be beneficial. Because over time, this shows your brain that you don't care what it says. You're going to continue relying on yourself. And after, the voice gets quieter and quieter and quieter. And the third time, you'll most likely feel the shift. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy and you're not going to feel the urge. But the point is to always prove to yourself you can rely on yourself, you can believe in yourself, and you have the power to reclaim yourself in the moments that matters most. And I promise you, this is going to cultivate your self-belief, your self-trust, your self-confidence to do way many more things later on in life because it takes just one decision, one action. When you show yourself you can trust yourself, and you will skyrocket and try to do this in every other aspects, and you're going to become a completely different person. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. If you want, go look the snowball effect. It is so real and undeniable. So the reality, you'll mess up, you'll override logic again, but that's not failure. That's data to understand what it is you need to understand more, what it is you need more work towards, and that's okay. I struggle with things as well. We all struggle with things. What matters is showing yourself you can do it, and I know you all can do it. And each pause, even 5 seconds, rewires your brain to catch yourself and reclaim your power and not make the impulsive decision you're going to regret. And what matters most is not perfection, it is progress, because this is the gap getting wider between your old version of yourself and the new version of yourself. And the truth about reclaiming yourself, it is not about becoming someone that never has impulses. I have my own impulses, but because you'll always have emotional reactions, you're human. But it's about reclaiming yourself and knowing what to do when you have the right tools so you can live a more peaceful life, a better life, and just show yourself you can actually do the hard things. Because even me, I struggle with certain impulsive decisions, actions. And the moment I started to become more aware during the moments, for example, I wanted to implement impulsive reactions, that's when I realized, yes, the impulse is automatic, but I have the choice to act on it, to decide to do it. And the moment you realize you have the power to not act on it, even if sometimes it might be hard, is the moment you realize you can overcome anything, you can do anything, And I promise you, you're going to be able to not override your logic and believe in yourself and do the good patterns. So thank you, my angels. I really hope this video helped you understand more how to not override your logic in the moments that matters most. And on that, I will see you all in another video. I believe in you, my angels.